welcome to Flory Models live at 5. Here we are on Monday the 20th of November 2017 after a lovely weekend. Did you enjoy your weekend off?
I did, it was really nice. I never get weekends, but I was still posting. And
I was going to say, you didn't really, you were still working. I was telling you, packing in.
Yeah, no.
Have some time off, enjoy yourself.
I did, we went to Exeter, it was lovely. It was lovely, the Christmas market's on. It's looking beautiful over there. So
very nice.
Yeah, it was nice, it was lovely.
And for everyone who's got their Christmas trees up already, which are all over my Facebook, really, it's still November. What is wrong with people?
In the hotel industry, it's turkey and tinsel.
Yeah.
So technically, Christmas started at the beginning of November.
And then carries on until when? May?
Until pretty much mid-January.
And then it's we'll meet again, is it then? Until next Christmas, and it starts again.
Yeah, and then it starts again. Christmas Day, twice a week, every week.
Got to be good, isn't it?
Yeah,
Groundhog Day for everyone. Anyway, Christmas for us doesn't start for another bit, but we will get the old tree out again with the Christmas calendars. We'll get you one this year.
Yeah.
We'll have to get you one. I had my Star Wars one last year. It's very good, it was too.
Every
day I used to build a little figure for the show.
That's really cool, I like that.
You'll love all of that. Anyway, good day for us, to be honest. I got back into building properly, so we've been full on with the Mozzie. I've done the Bombay doors, we've done the flap system for it, there's a bit of photo etch goes on with that, all the bits and pieces, so they have been working very nicely down in here. Again, it's falling together absolutely beautiful, and one of the things that amazed me was the underside with the gum bay, the way that all that fits, and it is absolutely seamless. Again, it's typical Tamiya at its very, very best, and the more I'm working with that kit, the more I'm falling in love with it. It's absolutely stunning, and I have to say it is their best kit to date, bar none. Even shoehorning all the resin into it and all the headaches and things like that we've done with it, it is still going together like an absolute dream. Tend to push on with it again tomorrow, so hopefully we'll get it buttoned up, we'll get the canopy work all done. Actually, it'll be ready for paint in a couple of days' time, so really I'm looking forward to that one. Again, apologies, you can probably hear they are actually still working.
Yeah, they messed up a little bit, so they're having
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah,
you know more than me.
Yeah, they've messed up a little bit, so they're having to redo the part that they messed up, and because obviously they're losing lighting, they've now got lights out.
Yeah, they're working in the dark. That's dedication.
That is dedication.
But the thing is, the roofer's coming tomorrow to put the roof on it. It's got all these special roofs on it that's covered with a lifetime guarantee. It's not like it's felt and all the rest of it. So we've got a special roof going onto it, and that's why they're panicking now, because obviously the roof has got to be fine for the roof to turn up tomorrow. Windows go in tomorrow and everything else like that. It is taking shape, actually. I can show you a photo. I wonder if they can hear all this out in the back. No, that's all right. You're okay. I can do it here, I think. Oh, yeah. No, you will on that. Hold on. We need... if you press that one, and then that one. There we go. Keep going.
There you
Hold on. Where is it? There it is. That's how it looks at the moment-ish. Hold on. Let's put it down there. There we go. There you are. Look, you're there. Give everyone a size aspect. As you can see, it's actually, it's huge. It's one of those things everyone was saying when it was just a concrete slab that, is that it? And it's a case of, no, it actually is really big once you're in there. When you're in it, it's like a cabin. Yeah, it is. There's no way you're ever going to reach the roof, are you?
It's absolutely huge, yeah.
Yeah, it's 10 feet at the front.
Obviously, I have heels on as well in that. I have heel boots on in that as well. So, very impressive.
So, yeah, it's very, very good on that one. So, yeah, that's it now. You're my scale. Yeah. You have to stand by everything.
Not good scale.
So you can be my scale thing for all these different things, and you can see exactly how things are by Lindsay height.
Yes.
I think that's how we have to do it now. But anyway, as you say, working on with that, so if you do hear any in the background, you know what all that noise is. The other thing as well, big thing for you today, first time you've ever held an airbrush.
Yes.
And you've done little doodles and everything with it.
Yeah, I have. Well, I just wanted to see how it felt in my hand and how, you know, flexible I was with it in my wrist and everything like that. So it was so much fun. I really, really enjoyed it. It was really, really good, and I felt like I expected it to be a lot harder than I felt it actually was. I mean, I haven't done it on plastic yet, so I don't know how it's going to be when I do that, but that's tomorrow. So we're doing that tomorrow as well.
A lot of it was today was one, I talked you through all about the aspects of it, how a compressor works, obviously with the spray boost, the air lines, quick to neck, all the different parts of an internals of an airbrush, stripping it down, putting it back together. And the big thing is that a lot of you know, I always say never do it on paper towel. That's purely because that everybody else has actually used an airbrush. That's the first time you've ever used an airbrush.
Yeah, even had one in my hand.
I have videoed it it all, and I've shown it, and what we'll do, we'll edit it together and you can watch it tomorrow. First of all, you just spray in water just down onto the cutting mat, just knowing how it works, because again, a lot of it is I think most of us have all had an airbrush and we've all had a go, even if it's worked not very well, or you know, you've actually watched some on YouTube and followed through. You know, to actually just for the first time hold an airbrush, having no idea what's about to happen, you might as well do it onto a towel, get used to it, just to feel what's going on, and to be honest, have a little bit of fun with it. And that's what I said to you, relax, enjoy it, have fun with it, don't be too worried about it, don't get stressed about it, because at the end of the day, as soon as you put stress in, you tend to cramp up and your hand gets a little bit, and then you don't pull the trigger smoothly, and then you get stopping and starting. And you were using acrylics as well, which can be a little bit of a headache as well to some people. So generally going through, and you've done some lovely artwork clearly, but you're going to see it all tomorrow live. And I'd say I think it'd be quite interesting to follow along, especially if you have never done it before. But what we'll do tomorrow, this all goes out the window, and then you will be onto plasticard, and then I think literally within a couple of days we'll get you spraying. You might give Buster another coat of paint for me, and stuff like that, to get used to actually using an airbrush. But what's really interesting is the way you actually started off right-handed.
I did, yeah.
And you were spraying fine right-handed, and then decided to try your left, and you were better with your left. Well, that's just something I could never do. Yeah. You know, I'm right-handed. That's me. Yeah. See, I am left-handed, but I can use both. Not so much on the writing sense. So I was quite surprised that I could actually use it with my right, because I said to you whilst we were doing it, oh, I feel like it's okay with my right, and it was okay. And I think I just felt more comfortable with it in my left. Yes. But it was definitely a lot of fun, and I think it's going to be my newfound love. Yeah, it is. I think so. This is what we was trying to also say to her, is that it's one of those things, it's actually quite a steep learning curve. I was putting the sort of the analogy of driving a car, because technically the air's the throttle, your paint is the sort of the clutch for it, and finding the bite point, and just understanding of it when it comes out, and obviously full tilt to being very small, and then obviously different air pressures we played with a little bit, just so you could find exactly what you were doing with it. I feel like I got a huge feel of it, and I think right away I could tell how you need to use it, and the way it's done. And I think it was really, really, really helpful, because I thought it was just a case of putting the paint in, spraying. Yeah. You know, I didn't realise how actually complex it can be, but I really did enjoy it, and I like how you can do the different shading. I love the fact that you can do the shading, because that's what I love about seeing the different types of models, is seeing all the different shading and seeing how things go on. And I think it makes a model look so much more dramatic, and I love that, and the detail's incredible. So I can't wait to start and get it all done. Yeah. You will. So as I say, tomorrow what we're going to do is get the old plastic card out sheets, and then really you can just do that again on plastic, and understand that, oh god, it's now going everywhere, and the reasons for it, and we'll get you up to speed on that. We'll get you doing some shading, and then obviously just learning the differences of what an airbrush can do, and the little tiny things. It's the small things with airbrushing that make the big difference. Like I always say, and obviously most of you guys have seen my live airbrushing courses and my other courses that I've done. A lot of you have been here and done the airbrushing courses, but a lot of it comes down to relaxing. Yes. If you're really tense, and you know, it is that thing where if you're a little bit more relaxed, if you're there and you can just like flow, and it's the thing where not going full. Yes. As I said to you before, you will use probably half the trigger pull all the time. Very rare you will go full tilt. Yeah. And that's the thing to it as well. And you found your airbrush that you want to use. Yes, yes. That was the other thing as well. Yeah. You like the lightweight one. I do like that. It's lighter in my hand. I don't feel like it's too heavy, because I have got small hands, and I am quite dainty as a person anyway. Yeah. Anything that's too overpowering on my hand, I lose control. Yeah. So the fact that this is light and it's very, very easy to use, it made it so much easier for me, and I think that's where I started to feel comfortable. The fact that I feel comfortable already with it in my hand, that made a big difference, because that's what I was when I felt the one that you use. It's a lot heavier. Yeah. And I think to start, I mean, I might prefer a heavier one when I know it better. Yeah.
But for now, this is perfect for me. So yeah, so that's one that I'll be using.
So yes, definitely. Yeah. But as I said, tomorrow we'll go on to plastic. We'll film that as well. And I think, you know, as you said, we're not going to do a mass course of you right the way through, because we're just going to get you into the basics of it. And then from where I've started off with most people with how to use one, and then you can work through those and get used to it and things like that. But again, I think you picked it up really well. You're absolutely fantastic.
Thanks.
Right, okay, a couple of things to mention. First of all, don't forget, this week, I haven't put it up on the forum yet, but we have got the turkey shoot starting. Now, I know technically it's Thursday for you Americans out there, but you'll be too busy watching football and lager and eating. So what we're going to do, obviously start it Friday, and it's going to run right the way through the weekend as we did last year. So what's going to happen, obviously, if you want to join us, Friday morning, and then obviously we'll do a couple of hours in the morning, a couple of hours in the sort of evening, afternoon, evening time, and then obviously we'll do that right the way through the weekend, of which you're going to join us as well.
I am, yeah.
So Lindsay's going to be on one of our stations here, I'll be in the other. I'm hoping we've got the guys taking part in it as well. Need to talk to Steve. I know Hans already spoke to him as well. He's going to pop in a little bit with work with him as well, with family commitments, but he's going to be popping out during it. But we'd love everybody to join along with us. So it's the usual thing. You can do whatever you like. All you got to do is try and complete it in 4 days. Please don't rush it, as we know it can be, you know, pretty full on, but obviously it's not worth, you know, throwing away your model and sort of everything else. If you don't complete it on time, there's nothing to worry about. Just one of those things. And what we'll do is, obviously with you, through social media as well, and all the bits and pieces, we'll be bringing up your photos and any videos you want to send us and various things as we're live on air. So we'd like to share it with everyone. But it is our big extravaganza. By the end of it, you'll be knackered. Trust me, I am.
I'm really looking forward to it. It was something that I was really looking forward to, especially because I'll be doing it all day, and then it means that the more I'm doing it, everybody's going to see, hopefully, see me getting more into it and really finding my feet with it. So definitely. I'm really looking forward to it.
It should be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I'm going to do the YF23 purely because I wanted to build this kit for absolute eons. So that's what I'm going to do, the Hobby Boss 148th. I might change its camo though. I'm thinking I might do it in a splinter scheme, purely because it will just look absolutely fantastic in that type of scheme. Sort of a what if. It's technically an aircraft that doesn't exist anymore. It did fly, it was a prototype, it was in a fly off. Gets a bit technical, but anyway, it wasn't selected by the Air Force a few years ago, but I've got the kit of it, and I'm thinking that would look great in a type of a splinter type scheme. I really actually fancy doing something like that. So anyway, that's the one I'm going to be doing. Hopefully we'll get that one built. And if usual thing, if I do get it done and nailed down pretty quick, then obviously I'll do some other bits and pieces and weathering and various other tutorials and stuff like that, as you guys want to see or hear anything like that. So if you want to join along with us, over the next couple of days I'll get it set up in the forum, and then obviously we'll have our own little section on there, usual things as well. We'll have the chat area up, so if you want to talk to us live, if you're on air, obviously me and Lindsay will be in the studio, but again we'll have Steve on board with any luck, and obviously we've got Matt who's going to be joining us, and then obviously Hans in and out as he can throughout the entire time as well. So if you want to be part of it, we'd love to have you along.
We would.
It'll be a good old giggle. We can sit here with coffee and food and just chat, and any questions you want to have as we're having it. Don't forget, it's a totally light-hearted event, as you all know. It's just our way of sort of kicking back, model, chilling, and having a little bit of fun. The other thing as well, and if I bring this one up, hold on, not yet, because I've got to get it up here, is the actual group builds for starting off for the sci-fi one, which is actually going to start in, hold on, I've got to go down and try and find it. Come on, phone. It's taking forever to come up. Where are we? It's right down at the bottom. For the actual sci-fi SIG, which is starting in... Where is it? I can't find it now. Oh my god, I've lost it. No, further down. Who knew it was this far down? Okay, where are we? Entry list. There we go. We got the official entry list for the sci-fi SIG is up. Let me go to the top, sorry, because it's dropped to the bottom as always. So, usual thing, this one is going to be running from the 1st of December to February the 28th, okay? Loads of time, and again, we've got some great builds coming up. So, we've got a Type... Oh, God, I've pressed the thing, hold on. Get rid of that. Okay, so Tom is going to be doing the TIE Fighter Advanced. We got Richie is going to do the AT-AT. I've got that kit here as well. It'd be lovely to do that. It's a lovely, absolute lovely kit. Christopher, something you went about. That was what you went mental for. This is the one that I was
excited about. Now that, for me, is a kit right there.
Absolutely.
I'm very excited to see this.
Definitely. So, Chris, well done for that one. You've definitely got a fan following on that one already. Okay. Chris another Chris is doing the Voyager, which is the old Mobius kit. Absolutely fantastic. Beautiful kit, that one. We've got Mark, who's doing the Robbie robot.
That is
Lost in Space.
That's very cool.
And he's got the sound and lighty thing for it as well.
Oh, cool.
So absolutely fantastic on that one. Darren doing a little bit of Warhammer. Those are absolutely fantastic. The weathering you can do on those is absolutely bonkers. Seen those done before, they're absolutely stunning as well.
Doesn't look an easy one.
Well, they are quite in depth, but
yeah.
they're very, very nice indeed. Colin is going to be doing the tank, the Federation tank from episode 1.
That is very cool.
Yeah, okay. And we've got Clint. Now these, I absolutely love these. We were talking about these. Actually, I was explaining to Linz about these particular series of kits, and from the cartoon series. Stunning is an understatement with these. The 500th one's beautiful. The 350 one is totally bonkers, but they are fantastic kits as well. Rob, Star Trek.
Yay! Very, very good.
Very good. So it'd be nice to see a little bit of Star Trek, he was saying. And he's also got the photo etch for it as well. So it's a really nice touch with that one. And another Star Trek. So Alan.
By Revel.
That's it. So Revel doing that one.
Yeah.
Lovely kits as well. Really nice on those ones. And then Lee has got the original.
Wow.
This is the original one, really. The fine mold Slave 1. Beautiful kit, that one. Very, very nice indeed.
Looks like it's gonna
Still gives the Bandai one a run for its money, that particular kit. Michael doing the polar bear. These are the actual fantastic, like fully armoured mech type things you sit in.
Very cool.
They're really, really cool, those ones. Very, very nice indeed.
Very, very cool.
So yes,
got some really, 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 really good ones.
Yeah.
It's not just stuck to one thing as well, and I think that's really, really good because it's so versatile, and I think that's absolutely brilliant. I'm looking forward to seeing all of them. I'm really, really, really am. So yeah. Good job, everyone.
I must admit, I've never known anyone to get so excited.
I know.
But you were going through them earlier going, oh, look at that one.
I know,
And
I was like,
oh, it's like, you know.
I want to do all of these.
That's it. It's like you were going through the list of the ones you'd like to do and everything else, and I'm like, you know, crikey, you'd do them all, literally.
Yeah, I would literally do them all. Well, I'll give them all a go. Over time, I'll probably get better at it, but I wish I could do them all now.
Yeah.
And we were going over what I was going to do for the SIG, and there's so many that I want to do that I just can't decide at the moment because there's so many. So mine's going to probably be a last minute decision because I have a lot to choose from. So I'm very excited, very, very excited.
But you're definitely doing Captain Phasma.
Yes,
you
I'm
want to do that
definitely.
one.
Yeah,
because we've got the chrome pen for that as well for doing the touch-ups, which is a nice one. You got that big X-wing over there.
Yes, I do.
Because you're going to repaint that. Because by then you'll be an airbrushing pro.
Yes, I will.
And I think that'll work quite well with that one. Plus the fact, obviously, when we do the reviews and the builds and everything as well for the Halo stuff.
Halo, yeah.
As
the
well.
Warthog and the Pelican.
Pelican, yeah.
Yeah.
So we've got loads of great stuff coming up with that.
Yes,
so you'll be in your absolute element doing
I
all
will.
of those.
I will.
As we make our way through. Right, over to the questions then. Mark says, evening Phil and Lindsay, being Scottish, I could struggle saying Lindsay's name. I won't say it because I'm going to let you say it in a minute. The thing could probably be said two ways. Obviously Polish, correct English way. In the Polish, something like Puchawa. Is that how you do it? Okay, in English would probably be Pachula.
Patchoula.
You could be
I've had
Patchoula.
Patchoula quite a lot actually. I have had Patchoula and Pachawa. I've had that quite a lot.
Yeah.
My brother's nickname in school was Chihuahua.
Chihuahua.
Yeah, Chihuahua. Yeah.
I've been fortunate enough to work in the RAF and visit Poland a few times and participate in exercise Long March. Brilliant, fantastic.
It's a good attempt.
It was a good attempt. Very good at that.
Good attempt.
We'll put everyone out of their misery in a minute.
Yeah, we will.
Okay. Sorry, who did the original? Phil has done the link. Thanks to everyone who tracked down and he's contacted Gordon. This was the Mitch's military models about those fantastic figures and busts. Paul is talking about, we were talking about Red Dwarf, that you couldn't get the Red Dwarf or Starbug available, and I was saying I have seen Starbug, and he was saying there that haven't seen a Red Dwarf kit, but he's seen Starbug, which from Warren Monk's Tiderium Models. And he's got the link up there as well. The kit was produced by JPG Productions in the US. It was only made in small numbers and very hard to find. Best of luck if you want to try tracking one down. The Smart Car Starbug might be fun to scratch build. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, Joe says, I need help, please. How can I open photos from PhotoBucket? Want to? Oh, right. Okay. There's a link. What the only way you can physically do it for people who haven't paid is to do the thing where there's a fix that works with Chrome and Firefox. Okay, it's a plug-in, and basically what it does, it turns off that thing that says they can't see them, and then you can see the photos. But it only works for Chrome, Google Chrome and Firefox at the moment. The link is on the forum, okay? I'll find the link and I'll put it down underneath this on today's show notes when we put the today page up for today. And it will have the link in there. What you do, you go on there, just click the plugins for Chrome, for instance, and that's how I see everybody's photos unchanged now. Again, I thought, to be honest, they would see this and they would do something, but they haven't done yet. But now I'm paying as well. I don't know if that makes a difference. I don't know if paying members can see other people's. I don't know which way they've done that one. But definitely, it's a well worth, and it's free. It doesn't cost you anything. It's totally safe and secure. I've been using it now for the last couple of months and had no problems with it at all. Okay, so we will find that out and get that one to you there. Right, okay. Was it Damir? Damir. Okay, hi Phil. When you all talked about winter in the UK, it made me chuckle. In Ohio, we've already began winterizing the house. I've just installed the winter tyres on my car. Can you imagine us having to have different tyres for your car?
No,
It wouldn't work over here, would it?
No.
People would be up in arms. I'm not paying for tyres. The lowest temp we get around your area. We get around about -20 degrees Fahrenheit, roughly -29 Celsius. From across the pond. I might not be a member for long, but it's one of the best sites for modelling I've ever seen. Thank you.
Aww.
Coldest temperature we get here was probably around about minus...
We got a -1 the other day.
We had -1 the other morning.
Yeah,
I reckon the coldest I think I've ever known it here, where I am, I think we had like a -5 once.
Yeah.
Which, I'm not being funny, the world ends at that point.
Yeah, it does. Here in England
it's
does,
pretty bad. We had very famous, we get ice showers sometimes because, to be honest, and especially where you used to live as well in Tor Bay, it's like a microclimate. There's they call it the Bay of Seven Hills because there's 7 hills that surround Tor Bay, and it is a microclimate. So what happens is it traps warm air because we've got Dartmoor right on our back, and it gets really cold on top of that. It'll go down to -10, no problem at all up there. But down in the bay, it very even gets near freezing.
That's what I said. When coming out here, I noticed the temperature drop because it went from being in Tor Bay where you're surrounded by the sea to coming here where you're not surrounded by the sea and you've got a lot of countryside. Very cold. Very cold compared to what I've been used to for the last 5-6 years. So yeah, it's a big change. But then when I go up north and I see any family over in Nottinghamshire, in Mansfield, in winter it snows really well over there, and it's cold, but you adjust.
Yeah, that's it.
It's the adjustment. In England, it doesn't really get that cold, does it? It doesn't.
We're lucky in our area because obviously we are in the southwest bit, the bit that pokes out the bottom of England, and we have obviously the Atlantic conveyor, which brings all that warm water and air up from the southwest. So we never really get it.
No.
You know, as I say, I was in Alaska 2 years ago. And that was cold up in the Arctic Circle. But the thing is, I always say, as soon as you get below, I don't know, -5, you don't really feel any colder.
No.
And also, it's a different type of cold as well.
It is a different,
because the thing is, up there, because there's very little sort of humidity with it as well, it's cold, but it's just, you know, it's not like things here, because it's wet cold. It gets
and
horrible
the wind
cold.
as well.
Yeah, and we get the wind as well. It's pretty, because you're just damp and cold and miserable. And that's the thing. It's not like it's like, you know, just cold or frosty, and it's a bit like when you go to America, everyone's saying, oh, it's really hot over there. To be honest, I walked around the, you know, around the deserts in America in 110 degrees heat, no problem, because there's no humidity, so you don't sweat. So it feels quite nice, and it's just hot and no problem at all. Over here it gets hot, because the humidity is so much, you're just dripping, and it's horrible as well.
I didn't feel any heat.
No, well, you don't, because you're a lizard.
I'm a lizard.
Definitely. Right, okay, Richard. Sorry, did we have that one? Yeah, that's it. Okay, Richard's put up here a really great tip, which I must admit I have never thought of, so kudos to him on this one. Hi Phil, not a question, just a thought. I'd share a technique for making 1/48 scale HGW models harnesses much easier. Additional photos and explanations are on the Gannett, I can never pronounce that one, post. But this is great because I've never thought of doing this. So what he's actually doing is looping the actual buckles on the fret, which means you haven't got to try and hold them. Because normally what I do is I've got like my locking pliers and things like that, and I lock them into it and then do it. But doing it on there, and then you can cut them off and then they don't fly off. Genius. The man, Richard, you're a genius. Absolute genius. This is one of those things, so you look at it and think, that's just so simple. Yeah. But clearly, I've never thought of that. So yeah, definitely. So well done, Richard. You have taught me something there. I will be doing that from now on. Okay, Green says, hi Phil and Lindsay, loving the Smashy and Nicey format. I bet you don't even know who that is. No, that's fine. I'll leave her to think of that one. Yeah. On the subject, in fact, she might take that the wrong way. Okay, on the subject of dodgy garage kits, I have a sci-fi for the sci-fi SIG found by going onto the Google images. Lindsay, as part of Star Wars sci-fi fan, what do you think of Jerry Anderson's Thunderbirds, Captain Scarlet and Stingray?
That's a tough one. I've never really been, and I know probably people are going to hate me for this, I've never been a fan of Thunderbirds. It's never been a thing for me. I think
that's an age thing as well.
I think it may have been. I mean, I have seen Thunderbirds, and I don't know what it is about it, but
spooky.
even from from a child, I've always thought it was a little bit freaky. My grandfather, on my mother's side, who's actually English, well, he's not English, but almost English, and he absolutely loved it, was obsessed with it, and he used to have it on. Now, I didn't spend a lot of time with my grandfather, but when I did ever see him, he used to have it on quite a lot. And I have to say, it did freak me out a little bit. I've never been much of a fan, so I'm sorry on that one. I'm sorry on the front of that, but no, it's never been a fan of mine. I can dabble in it, but it's not a thing for me.
Now, on that side, I can add to that one because my favourite one, to be honest, of them all was Stingray. I preferred Stingray over Thunderbirds. I don't know why, but I just had this thing for Stingray in a big way. Yet my kids, when I tried to get them to watch it, were terrified by the fish people in it. Yeah. And they never watched another episode because they really freaked them out to the point where, you know, almost had tears over this. Yeah. It's like, no, you're going to watch this, kid. No, they're not. No, and that was it. So never watched another episode. And I think the puppet, where as a kid it was like brilliant. Yeah. Nowadays,
it's a puppet thing.
Yeah, it's a puppet thing.
I don't like a puppet.
It's like clowns.
Oh God, no, don't. Oh, no, I can't even.
Don't do clowns.
No.
Okay, part 2 of that question is a couple of questions for the Turkish shoot rules. Can you recommend a water-soluble masking fluid? Say hi to Melfi. Looking forward to meeting you all at the show next year. Water-soluble masking fluid. That's an interesting one. Yeah, I don't think you can actually get a water-soluble masking fluid. Not in the true sense of like a mask oil and things like that. They tend to be obviously chemical based because of what they are. Obviously water soluble hairspray, if you're thinking of chipping ways for masking and stuff like that, you could just use that and then wash it off because it will break down with water. But actually for a water soluble masking fluid, by its nature, I don't think you'll find one because it needs to dry like a latex or a rubber type formula to do what it does, to make a solid impervious layer which then you can paint over and spray over and it's not going to move. Technically the only thing that would be close to it would be to use a sort of water-based hair lacquer type thing. You could spray one of those down into an area and then obviously water will dissolve it. That's how chipping works and stuff like that. There is obviously other chipping type fluids and stuff. They're water soluble as well because that's the way they break down and stuff like that. But as for a masking fluid, I don't know what you would really need something that needs to be water soluble. Short of like you're thinking of it washing it off and it will just flow away and be good, but then you could just peel it away with a latex one. So from that point of view, I don't quite get where you would need it. Unless it was something really difficult, you wanted to wash it out of a particular area instead of doing it normally. But if it's water soluble and you're thinking of obviously using it as a masking thing, it would be quite difficult to get it all off. You know, because even if you're washing it off, anywhere that doesn't get wet won't break down. If it's got paint over it, that could be a little bit of a problem, because at least with a fluid you can peel it off like a, you know, like PVA glue on your skin, and you can do it that way, because, you know, like PVA glue technically is water soluble, but the thing is, once it sets, that's it. So I'm not sure on what you actually mean on that one, sorry Green. We will sort that out. Right, next we have Neil says, it was lovely to chat to Sid and Steve and yourself at Telford. My wife said you were all lovely, see, and was quite chuffed by the encouragement you gave her for the Tiger Models cute plane, the egg-type Spitfire she bought. Thank you for your kind words. Also, it's lovely to see the Matchbox Phantom in the flesh. Just a question, if I may, whilst chatting to you at Telford, to ask, are you still going to do the Man Cave tour video? I sent you the link via YouTube. I might have misplaced this one. I'll have to check. Send it to me again, please. It'll be easier than me going back and trying to find it. So please send it to me again. Also, if you're going to do the RAF Cosford IPMS show, then please let me know if you need any help, as I live not far away and I'm free for the weekend. The advantage of a fixed rotor is that you know where you are, doing well in advance. Thank you for all the team and good work, Neil. Yes, definitely we plan to do Cosford. Be a night away, I think. We'll have to do that one. Yeah. But yes, it's a good old show up there. Quite do it. It's a museum as well. Oh. So if you're good, you can stand under a hanging lightning, which is a jet that's hanging.
That's really cool. That's really cool.
So it's really cool in there. But it's really nice because when you're in amongst a museum, they put you in amongst all the exhibits. Oh. And then you have your stand there under a wing of something or next to something. Wow. It's quite a cool way of doing it.
That is really cool.
And everything else like that. Speaking, but yeah, definitely. Good luck with that. I must admit, it was one of those things where you get the partner and they've got a kit as well. Mm. And it's like, you can see them thinking, you know, I'd love to do it as a butterfly or as a rainbow colours and everything else. And then you get the modeller that's next to them saying, no, you're not, you're going to be doing it in RAF colours with this, that and the other. But honestly, let them go. Because I was like, yeah, do it pink. It's absolutely great. And all the rest of it. And you're like, you know, so no. But yes, we want a photo as well. So once she's done it, make sure we get a photo and I'll show it on the show. And we can do it literally like that. Okay, David says, hi Phil, it's great to speak to you in person at Telford. Connor was really pleased with his badge and sticker set and has been wearing his badge with pride to school. Oh, aww. Bless him. Seeing all those great models on the stand made me reach for yet to be started, another half of the Dogflights Doubles 148 scale Mark 5B Spitfire. I'm currently masking the canopy, ready for spraying and have a problem. I've used masking tape and a cocktail stick and a new blade method so far with reasonable success, but how do you mask those tiny windows either side of the mirror at the top front? Okay, this is the problem. When you're getting into that small and those little areas, I know where you mean it is. Sometimes if you're using, obviously I take it maybe an acrylic paint, what you can do is scratch clean them. So if you get a cocktail stick, make it razor sharp, you can actually scratch clean it and then wiggle out the inside and take it out that way. And to be honest, on smaller scale kits, it's tends to be how I do it. You have to be a little bit sort of careful how you go around and doing it, because if you slip, there's no going back from it, but you can do it literally like that way. Or the other way is you can cheat and buy a mask set, which is what, to be honest, and it's funny actually, the more modelers you speak to, the more use mask sets. So instead of having to mask up all the clear parts, when you're doing something on here, bad example, it's in the other one, but if you wanted to mask this up, normally you'd have to go around and mask it all. What you can actually do is buy one that's been pre-cut and you just stick it on like a sticker, and then you can spray it, peel it off afterward, job done.
Which seems like an easier option.
It is, and for £7, because they're £5 to £7, it's quite a nice, easy option if you want to cop out. Yeah. Me though, I am a bit of old school and I do tend to do them myself and cut them out and put them on. But the other way is you can literally get in there, put the tape into that area, and then you can go in with a very sharp pencil and mark the line where you actually want to do, and you can go in there and cut it and then peel off the excess afterwards, so you've just got the clear part down on that and stuff like that. It's one of those things, everybody has different ways of doing it at the end of the day. There's no right or wrong, you know, so it's just what seems to work well. Again, never be too frightened of it because it goes horrendously wrong. If it's acrylic, you can always clean it off. and go again. It's only when you're using lacquers and things like that that they bite and etch into the plastic, you can't get them off. Okay, so in some ways that's why I even say if you're using a lacquer based paint, if you go down in there first and give it an acrylic undercoat, that way that you can scrape clean into it. Part of it, I did it to the F16 with the nav lights, so I sprayed them all first with acrylic, so then I could go back afterwards. Damn good sharp cocktail stick gets through the lacquer paint, which is rock hard, into the acrylic, and it actually scraped clean. And that way I did all the lights like it, I did the navigation lights, the tail lights and everything that way, and it worked really well for that one. At this scale it's about 2mm by 1mm, and after 2 unsuccessful hours of using the above method I gave up. I'm contemplating using mask oil or even not bothering, and using a thinner laden toothpick to remove the paint. Yeah, that's what I would say. I would do that. I would probably get it, paint it, and then go in and cut it out, because it's such a small area. That's probably the easiest way to do it on that one, David. If I'm honest, that's how I go about it. And then Andy was saying, hi David, I would use the mask oil or something similar, as it will peel off easily once it's finished. Absolutely, exactly the same thing for that one. Okay, so to be honest, I know a lot of you have seen this one, and obviously I did want to cover it. We had a little bit of an incident last night where myself and Mr. Paul Morgan slightly fell out over a dispute about what he thought was going on with the company and everything else like that. And he wanted me to read this out. To be honest, at the time I removed it because I didn't want members basically giving him a hard time over it, and perhaps the members who understand a little bit more of what goes on here than obviously what Paul thinks goes on here and stuff like that. But I'll read it out and I will cover about it. But anyway, Paul said, I think it's time for you to do a one-on-one with the membership. Your views in the last year since the painting on sprues incident. I feel you were so rocked by it that your old self has never returned. A straight interview with no lens or any other distractions you've had over the last week's vlogs. Let's look at the overall truth. Several severe lack of bench time. Any excuse from editing, outside temperatures, days away, Mel's birthday, which happened twice. Who has 2 birthdays in a fortnight? The members here up north have named the Meteor as the 100-year build because it seemed to take that long for you to be able to build it. The recent F16 build, as you said straight out of the box, did not end up as you said, and was took over 3 months. Why? I've even forgotten what your summer build was of 2017 was, so could you remind me, and will it be finished by the summer of 2018? So 3 months of sci-fi, which I noted started this week, so that's 3.5, which it hasn't started. Talked monthly model show visits, that's 3 days less of bench time a month, so that's 36 less days of bench time. Do you see a picture forming here? I'm just asking for honest heart to heart with the family to see your views with the road ahead. I clearly see the workers causing more time away from the bench, the training of Linz as another avoidance of several months that could you not see your way to even squeeze in an hour at the weekend. Your dislike for YouTube, as you said, made you say that members would get reviews first. A week later you changed this with no benefit. Why? Your opening statement last week, we talked about gaming or the possibility of it. Is this to become a gaming site? No doubt I'm prepared for the fallout from the fanboy remarks. Honestly, I've come to the conclusion that you've lost the real will to model, I mean aircraft, heli or armour. Will you find time for a proper vlog? Okay, now this sort of goes on because, to be honest, it got into a little bit of a debate, and as I say, at the time I didn't want any fallout from it and I removed it. It was up on there for a couple of hours before I saw it, but I removed it, and then I did have a personal chat with Paul, actually via, you know, PM chats on the forum. Paul was a little agitated, shall we say, and I did point out a few things to him, which then I've put on down below, as you'll see, that I put on excuse for bench time, really. And to be honest, I wasn't going to make this open to the public, but because he sort of drew my hand on it and was calling me out quite a bit, I did decide to put up. So we have done 9 full builds in 10 months, and to be honest, that has been. We finished off last year the Airfix Meteor, which, true, did take a little bit longer than normal, but we did re-rivet the entire thing and did a few extra things to it, to be honest. We did the P51. The main P51. We did the ME262, which was pretty much a full-on build, if we're honest. It wasn't as straightforward as it could have been because we did a few extras to it and things like that. The A10, which technically was a huge undertaking, I think, as most people will agree with. The King Tiger was a massive build as well, because obviously we did the full interior and everything to that one. We did the A4 Skyhawk, which, to be honest, was a straightforward out of the box, didn't take very long at all. We also did the H865 Dolphin last year, this year, which I think a lot of people tend to forget we actually did that one. We did the 1.6 Stormtrooper as a video build as well. We also did the F-16. Obviously that one is finished and done. We're still working on the Mosquito, okay, which is down here, which actually is number 11 build, thinking about it, because I haven't included that in the list. We also did the airbrushing live. We did 75 kit reviews. We did 140 vlogs since the 3rd of April. Okay, because I can't go that further back because it's under a different system now. And again, we did lots of live airbrushing courses, we did lots of interviews I've done with people, and all the other day-to-day things that go through. And then I basically did point out to him that, you know, I do have a life, I have a family, I have children, and various things, and, you know, life, you know, gets in the way. Not to mention all the other stuff that has sort of gone on as well. So obviously, you know, things that we've had this year, some issues with insurance companies, with accountants that need to sorting out the things you get when you're a bigger company. Research and development to the new sounding range as well. That doesn't just happen on its own. It does take a little bit of work and sorting various things out. And yeah, we've been training you up as well, and various things, so it does come at a little price. And to be honest, the work that's going on this week was pretty full on. We've had mixers going, saws and everything, and it is on the other side of this door, but he didn't really seem to listen, if we're honest, into this one. And then he was obviously mentioning money and the wages we were on, and as I pointed out to him, by the time everything comes out, it works out at £1 a month per member. So then if you took part in all the group builds and everything else like that and you get a medal, actually it means I'm paying the members £14.49 a year after it all comes out. So it did get a little bit heated, and we had some, obviously you guys obviously leapt to our defence and various things like that. But anyway, we couldn't come to an agreement, if we're honest, and I wasn't going to be spoken to the way that Paul was clearly speaking, and I think he had perhaps another agenda. So at this point I offered him a full refund, which I have refunded him. His subscription is actually due, but I have refunded him the last 12 months, and I have removed him from the forum and from the main site. And I will be, after the next couple of days, once everyone has read this and all the rest of it, I will be fully deleting everything he's done. Again, I won't be spoken to, my staff or any of the team will tolerate that type of thing, and it doesn't matter if he's having a go at me or another member or anything else like that. That's not what we are about here. I don't have to justify what I do on an hourly basis, and I think most of you realise that we are a large company, we do have staff, we do need to think of the future, clearly you, and stuff like that. So it is that thing. I don't just, unfortunately, I would love to sit here for 8 hours a day and model. Editing takes up an incredible amount of time, and hopefully you're going to be helping out with a lot of that. So from that point of view, but Lynn's will be editing your own stuff, I'll be editing mine, there'll be more stuff. Obviously when I edit the guys' videos as well when they're sent to me, it does take up a bit of time. But just generally admin, answering questions, being on the forum, I wish I could sit here like we used to years ago, going to accountants and business meetings and various things. It all takes time, and unfortunately, yeah, when you get big as a big company, things have to give. You know, you have to be an adult. I have to do these things these days.
And I might add, honestly, I've known Phil for a little while now, almost a year, actually.
Yeah.
And there has never been a time, even at the weekend when he's not supposed to be working. So that's why I said about the weekend. There's never a time where he's not looking. There's never a time where he's not sorting something out. There's always a time where he's on his phone, or whether he's on the computer, whether, you know, he's doing something. So there's always some involvement with it, and you know, it does take a lot to do this. And obviously I'm taking up a bit of your time with you teaching me everything, but that's hopefully what I'm here for, is to take some of that time, so then you can start concentrating more on what you want to do as your passion, which is obviously the main model making. And then I'll be doing my sci-fi bit. So it will be, you know, we just want what I'm here for is to give a little bit more variety. So the gaming and the sci-fi side of things will be something that I will be doing, which won't cut into the time that obviously Phil will have doing, you know, with the planes and everything like that. So if anything, you'll be getting more, not less.
Yeah. And also, I'll be honest with you, the point of obviously Lynn's coming in is to be the thing where if anything, God forbid, ever happened to me, or, you know, I know on the worst case scenario, but see, we were sorting out insurances a couple of weeks ago, and it was that thing about, like, what happens to the company, what happens to everything. You know, if I got run over by a bus tomorrow, you know. But the thing is, what we've tried to do now is almost future-proof Flory Models as a company and as a site and everything else. And by Lindsay coming in as well, she has the full responsibility of running the company. That if I'm not here for whatever reason, she can literally step in because she knows how everything works, and all the bits and pieces. So that's all we're trying to do, is literally building for a better future. I'm sure that's from a film somewhere. Is that Wayland or whatever it is? But that's what we're trying to do, is that obviously, you know, you are being paid, you know, and it's your job. But also, as I said, like me, it's more of a hobby than your job, and that's the whole point. But
I have a massive passion for this, and this is something that, you know, hopefully with time that I would like for us to build and grow. And we've got a lot of plans for the future, which include exactly what we do now, but more. It's just what it's going to be is just more and variety, and that's, you know, that's what we want to do. And you know, we're more than happy, and I you know, I've spoke to Phil about, I want to make sure that everybody is happy. That is what I want to be here for. So if there is something that somebody thinks isn't quite right, I'm more than happy to take that on board and change it and do whatever, because at the end of the day, that's what I'm here for. I'm here to make you guys happy, give you a little bit more variety when I've got my grasp on things, and then free up more of Phil's time, really, because he has so much to do that it's too much of a workload for one person. And Mel does so much as well behind the scenes, and she does, you know, without her we wouldn't be able to do any of this either. So it does take a lot, and it's just, that's why hence the new flush building work outside for the Lady of Leisure. And she, you know, she's really excited to move forward, and we all are. So, you know, that's what the future is. So any concerns or anything like that, you know, we want to be able to make everybody happy. So anything that you need, or you've got any questions for, you know, we're here 24/7, 7 days a week.
I know. And that, you know, obviously the thing is that I've always built this entire thing, and I've always tried to keep it cutting edge, and we've always tried to make it bigger and improve things. And to be honest, a couple of years ago we tried to keep it small, because I didn't want it to get too big. I didn't want to get it out of hand, but it's almost impossible to stop something good. Okay, and you guys have been massively supportive to me and to the company and everything we've stood for as a business. And it is that thing though, is that if we're going to keep it as we are and being the best and everything else like that, then we have to invest in it massively. You know, the outside building, obviously I'm not going to say how much it is, but it's, you know, over 10 grand we're spending just out there on that. You know, as I said, camera equipment, lighting gear, you know, the box of tricks just down there's £1,000. you know, it is that thing. If you don't invest into it, and to be honest, I see like Lynn's as another investment. We're investing in you for your time and everything that you're putting into this as well. And, you know, it's massively appreciated by me and obviously by Mel, everything she's doing in the background, because without Mel, there's no way we could do any sales whatsoever, because that would all fold instantly. So from that point of view, all her side of it, she does all the admin of all the sort of, you know, the payments, your subscriptions, everything else like that. You know, it's a huge thing these days, and I think sometimes people just think all we do is sit here and build models, and it's like, I wish, because if it was like that, it would be so much easier. But, you know, sometimes success does come at a price, and my price is the amount of time I spent on the bench, and that's why you were brought in to sort of free all of that up, to give me more time on the bench. By doing your side, but at the same time we want you to develop the sci-fi side of thing again, because we just
hell of a lot to do. Hell of a lot to do.
You have got many hats.
I have got many hats. Yeah,
you know,
including the merchandise
and the merchandising and stuff, which people are crying out for, and we get messages all
well,
the time, and it's like,
well,
you know,
we're talking to about getting the Flory logo on there.
Yeah, Alan's going to sort that out for us.
Alan's going to sort
that out for me. So as soon as that's in,
we
can get those done.
And so as soon as that, I will be on the phones tomorrow to different companies to see what kind of deals we can get for that. So yeah. Definitely.
But apologies, obviously, if you were part of it or read and all the rest of it. As I said, I'm just going to draw a line and move on from it. Occasionally we get people, and like I say, I apologised. Obviously, it wasn't going the way he wanted, and all the rest of it. And again, it's just that thing. I'm just trying to, I don't know, you try and keep everybody happy, and obviously clearly some people you can't. So I apologised, obviously it wasn't working for him, and as I say, I've refunded and I removed him, which now makes him number 7. In 15 years, he's the 7th person I've kicked out of this site.
Well, that's not too
so it's not bad going, really, is it? So, you know.
You used to have to let people go out the hotel every week, so, you know, you're doing well.
It is. But anyway, we'll draw a line under that one, guys. Thank you for everyone's support, as always.
Thank you.
Anyway, Jerome says, hi Phil, I'm a Flory fan. See, that was what I've skipped a few of you. Thank you, everybody who said I'm with you, Phil, and all the rest of it. Obviously, we'll get straight back to the questions and gloss over all of that, which makes a huge difference in my modelling life. Just rewatching tutorials this morning. My modelling question is, I bought some AK white primer, microfiller. Reading the label, they warn, as most manufacturers do, that using the HK Extreme Cleaner. I didn't buy any of their Extreme Cleaner as my local hobby shop didn't stock it. I intend to use self-leveling thinner. What do you use for thinning and cleaning AK primer? Okay, so for me, I just use self-leveling thinners. I tend to that's all I do. I will buy another bottle soon because we're down to getting quite low on that one, so we will get some of that in very, very shortly. I tend to use it for cleaning absolutely everything. It's just I have one bottle. It's easier to have one bottle than 10 bottles of everything here and all the rest of it. They did send me, if you might remember, when it came in for the Extreme Metals, they sent me the primers and everything else all at once to demo and try. And to be honest, I used it. It's good stuff, the cleaner. It works an absolute treat, but to be honest, I don't think it's any different. So I don't think it's worth going out and getting in and stuff like that. So personally, I would just use a straightforward, if you've got self-leveling thinners, use that, or a lacquer-based thinner, because that cleans everything. It doesn't matter if you're doing acrylics with it, it doesn't matter if you're using clear, all those types of things, it will eat through it. The golden rule is never let it dry. So like I say with you with the airbrush, as soon as you finish with it, just flush it through and you'll be good to go. It's the bit where things dry out and go rock hard, that's when you've got a problem, because then you have to chisel it out and stuff. But if you just flush straight away, you'll be good to go with no problem at all. Hope you commit to Phoenix. Well, you will be. You're there, and the rest of us aren't. Makes my own plans accordingly. I've been to the last 5 US Nationals and I'm not real sure about 2018. If you're coming, I will too. Pretty much sure we'll be there, Jerry. To be honest, we'll probably make the decision in the new year, probably just around literally the beginning of the new year is when we'll make the final decision. Obviously, we just got to get it past accounts and work out logistics and various things from that. But I think we're pretty much made up. It's just we've got to get it past the accountant.
Yeah.
Okay, so Darren says, hi guys, quick question. With the upcoming Ski Sig, you're opening, I've done it, sorry, then he put there, realised we've had, sorry, I did do that with Darren. Thank you very much, Darren, because you reminded me, because I forgot to do it. So it is up there now, and it's all good to go. Hi Phil and the team, just to echo the above comments, please keep up the good work. My subscription is probably the best value money I've had for my monthly expenditures. Thank you Neil, no problem at all.
Aww.
Bless everyone. They were all very supportive when it kicked off, and thank you to all the PMs and things and everything else that I had over this. I opened up my PM box and there's like 28 or something in there, and it was all just because of it. So yeah, I know guys, don't panic. We always get one okay every now and again. Okay, hi guys, just wanted to say I enjoyed the longer show on Friday. Good job, because this is another long one. So much for half an hour. I have to drive 4 hours to another city for work on Friday. And it was great to have you both keeping me company as I listened to the show and the Star Destroyer review in my car. See? Aww. Brilliant. Hey, I hope you're not driving. Are you allowed to do that? I suppose if you're listening, you're okay.
Yeah, you're listening. It's
just
like
not
the radio.
Watching. Yeah, true. Also, when I finally got home after a very long day, I had my German group build medal waiting for me in the mailbox. Thank you guys you guys made a long and busy day a lot more enjoyable. Look forward to the shows each day and wanted to say thanks for the great work. Cheers from Canada. Gavin. Oh, thank you, Gavin. Yeah, lovely.
Canada.
Okay. Ray says, 100% with you, Phil. Some people just don't seem to be able to see sense. Absolutely. Keep it right. You're my hero. Oh. And always will be. Thank you, Ray. Oh. Stop it, everyone. I'll start welling up. Ray. Yeah, that's Ray the other day, who you spoke to. That was Ray.
Yeah, that's right. I know you, Ray. I'm sorry I forgot your name.
That's it, that's Ray.
Terrible with names, but hi, Ray.
You're there now. Okay, Keith says, hi, Phil. What is the best way to clean up and polish a resin clear canopy? Any chance of a quick demo? Oh, that's a little bit difficult because I haven't got a resin clear canopy here. I tell you what I do, I will sort one out. To be honest with you, my blue and white polisher is how I do them. I tend to just sand them very lightly all over. It gets rid of all the imperfections on the surface. If you've got the green and white sander, that would be fantastic. Use the green side first, then use the white, okay? And then you can either go for a dip and give it a dip of clear because it will work beautifully with it. But basically, sometimes with the resin stuff, they can just have that little texture to them where it's come out the mold. If you give them a polish with the green side, they go very dull. Give them a polish with the white will make them nice and glossy. Then dip it, you'll be absolutely fine. If I had a resin canopy, I would demo it. But to be honest, I haven't got a resin clear part here. I could cast one. I've got a load of... to be honest, my resin in the cupboard, clear resin, has gone off. And it's gone yellow, so that's not going to work very well. Sorry about that, Keith, I'll sort it. Okay, Ben says, I've just got hold of the Revel 148 scale F5F Aggressor, and I've noticed it's raised panel lines. I've never done raised panel lines before. How would you go about it for the first timer? If you go into the tutorial section, there's an actual piece on there that talks about dealing with raised panel lines and how to get rid of them. A couple of options. You can either literally just lightly sand them all off completely and you'll be able to see where they are and then rescribe them in situ and then finish off sanding them completely out. You can go to the inside of them, perhaps. That's another option. I know people do. I know it's not 100% scale accurate, but trust me, when you polished it all off, nobody will be able to know anyway. Okay, or the third way is just to sand the hell out of them completely off. You'll see the marks left in the plastic. You can go along with a pencil and just mark them all in with a soft HP pencil. You can work out if they're good and then just rescribe the hell out of it and go for it. I know that kit quite well actually because I built it. I didn't actually rescribe it. I dry brushed the panel lines in situ and then they stood up from it. Did it in a, it was like a light grey over the top, then I did a dark grey and dry brushed them in. Many moons ago admittedly, but it was there. Okay, Paul says, hi Phil, totally behind you on this one. Good riddance. Oh, right, okay. Let's move on. Good to see that you and the gang and the other excellent, gang at another excellent Telford. Could you point me in the direction of the best in show? Can't seem to find it anywhere. Many thanks. Love to Mel. All the best. No. Hold on. Stay. Oh yeah, come off for that a minute. I'll show him because I've got it on my phone. Hold on, I've just got to go back through the photos. Got zillions on here now from everything, from building work. Okay, through all of those. That was the base going down at the shed. Just here, loads of pictures from Telford. Where's the best in shows? Okay, go. Okay. Best in show went to this little lump, which is actually a scratch built Spitfire. So it's all scratch built inside and then it's metal covered. Absolutely beautiful. So that won the category. for aircraft category, and also it got the Hobby Shop Trophy, IPMS Canada's one. Everybody basically loved that one. Europe, that's it again. So that was obviously the big one there. Then we had this one, which is obviously won the, obviously I presume the scale ship type things, for the maritime category, won gold. Then this absolute stunner. Wow. Again, beautiful, beautiful piece of work as well. Okay, so that was an absolute stunner as well. Ship, another one down there, category winner for that one. These are all the big ones. Fantastic water as well on that effect. That was really, really something with that. Yeah, no, that was absolutely stunning. That's, to be honest, what drew me to it. Not only was the paintwork stunning, but the water just absolutely was right with that. Very, very nice indeed. Very clever. Okay, cars. This little guy down in here, beautiful work. Look at the gloss work on that. That thing was literally like it had been shrunk. And there's Lynn. So that's it. That was Lynn getting a coffee. Sorry, Lynn, I've just embarrassed you. Swipe too far. So yes, that was the actual winners for Telford. Obviously, if you have a look at Sid's video, I'm sure Sid did an absolute stunning job with loads of other videos on there and everything else like that. Right, okay, Neil says, right, this is quite a large one. This is where we were talking about 3D printing. As you say, I'm going to slightly paraphrase this because it does go on just a little bit. And basically we were saying about that he's got the Randy Cooper Empire Strikes Back. That's what ESB stands for, Star Destroyer. That he's had it for 2 years. To be honest, I've had that kit and built it as well. I did that as a slightly off commission job before, because obviously I'd done a Star Destroyer, but I did that one as well. Really very, very nice as well. To be honest, Randy's done an absolutely stunning job on it, and it goes to get better, easier than my one does. That one's a doddle compared to mine, but I've built both. But because obviously I'd already showed you a Star Destroyer, I didn't want to show you another one, but I did that as a bit of a commission for a friend of mine because I couldn't get hold of that one again, or not at that price anyway. So that was the thing for that one. Anyway, he's saying he's got a gap between two whole parts. How would you go about doing it? To be honest with you, don't use resin trip. Resin trip I do for strengthening work and for light fasting. But don't forget, if you've got 2 pieces of resin and you just pour more resin on top, it doesn't make a super strong joint. It will hold it, but it's not proper join. So what you want to use is a 2-part epoxy resin. So obviously the chemicals will etch into each part. The other thing as well is lightly sand both parts with a coarse sandpaper, so it's got plenty to bite to grip onto. So then that way, when you get 2 parts of resin, especially if you've got a gap, it makes it super strong and it's got good grip. Thing is, if you just pour resin down into that gap, what it does is just sit on the surface, and if you knock it, it will shear like super glue and just peel off. Okay, and it will come away from itself. It won't weld it together. It's not like a weld action glue or something else like that. You need something with good structural integrity to it. So I would use a 2-part epoxy glue. You can use, like they call it plastic, the one I use. Basically it's one of these 5-minute job ones. Knock that up into a paste. It stinks, it's horrible. Use that, it will weld it together and you'll have no problem with it at all. Secondly, he was talking about obviously spraying it with the cost of it and everything else. Be honest, car paint, car primer. You can buy 2 types. Obviously they do the normal sort of, you know, horrible one, or they can do an acrylic version. You can even get plastic type primers for doing plastic bumpers, stuff like that. Do that. It's £2 a can. 1 can does the lot, so it won't cost you 80 quid to prime it as if you're using Vallejos and stuff like that. Exactly the same as I did mine. Car primer works a treat. And then he basically goes on to talk about SLA 3D printers and different ones, and is saying that down in here he's printed off his own nozzles and the various things to it, as we can see, with his own printer, and done it that way, and it took 6 hours, 2 prints, a total took 6 hours. That's still a long time. I could pour, couldn't you just do one printed? I would personally, I think I'd do one as a printed and then mould it and then take a cast from it. At least you can then do hundreds from it. Yeah. That's personally how I would go about it. That's why I always see 3D printing, not to print the entire thing, but as doing it as masters. But basically he was saying on that he's got no layer lines on his printer at all. And then obviously he talks about that. So, you know, do you want to pop up? That's it. again, I think it is that we were talking about with this. Obviously, technology's moving along. A lot of people perhaps got older printers, stuff like that. And then obviously, you know, if you've got a good one and you know how to set it up, and obviously you're a bit of an enthusiast with it, you can tweak it.
Yeah.
And it's the tweaking that makes all the difference. But again, monthly new printers are coming out. Things are getting better. There's different ways of doing it. So again, obviously we were talking about the different types of printing one. The layering one, obviously he's got a really good one, so you don't get the layering problems like he did. Somebody sent me a kit once that had been 3D printed. To be honest, it was horrible because you needed to sand it all, and even the clear parts have been 3D printed. It wasn't particularly good, but I can understand the principle behind it. It's there. It just needs a little bit of time. Prices will drop. It will become mainstream, and away we go.
Like we said earlier, it's all about personal choice as well. It's like everybody has their own way, and if 3D printing is working for you right now, then that's great.
Absolutely,
but just not for you at the moment.
You say it's not, to be honest, for me to get into 3D printing, as you're probably aware, it's the time.
Yeah.
Bench time.
6 hours.
I'm not going to start doing this.
No, don't stop.
But yeah, it is that thing. Can you imagine? Because it used to be the thing of like 3D printing. I do know a little bit about it. I've got friends who do it and all the rest of it. Watching it like a hawk in case it slips. Because otherwise, it's the bit where you do it and it takes 6 hours. You go for a coffee, come back, and it's out of whack. And you're like, oh, Jesus Christ. I sat and watched it only. And it is like watching paint dry. It's very hypnotic to watch it.
Yeah.
It's good when they do the time lapse and you see him doing it really quick. But to start with, I've sat there and watched. A friend of mine did a couple of logo type things, and I was watching it, and it is mesmerising because you're there.
Oh yeah.
And you're watching it, and it is just the coolest thing ever to watch.
Yeah, I've seen one as well.
But
over at the college, they did a demonstration on it because they got a really good one, and it is amazing to watch. It is absolutely amazing to watch, and it's but it does take a long time.
But definitely, we will get one here at some point.
Yes,
I will bite the bullet when I think the price comes right and the quality is good, and obviously stability as well is really good. We will bite the bullet, and we will be in here, and we will be 3D printing parts and various things. It's just going to be time. It will happen.
Yep.
Okay, and Alan says, hi Phil and Lindsay, disclaimer, I'm a fanboy. This is going to be a theme now. I joined the Flory family because it's the best, and since becoming a member, the site has just got better and better. I've watched all the vlogs with my wife, family show, and both find them thoroughly enjoyable. Quick question, at some stage I'm planning on building the Monogram 148 B29 Super Fortress. Big, that's huge.
Yeah.
It's monster. One of the colour call-outs, sorry, stop laughing. How did you know? It'll be a eyes open build. You'll have fun with it. One of the colour call-outs is for Aircraft Grey. In your opinion, what is the closest MRP match? Ooh, gold. Yeah. To be honest, I'm not sure. Straight off the bat here, obviously, yeah, you got MRP 104 is a that sort of classic grey. It's technically what they call the Southeast Asia grey. It would be roughly with the. Yeah, you have. Yeah, I'm just looking down at all my greys down there. Medium molly grey, yeah, I'm not sure. MRP do all the classic greys as well, so it might be worth just having a look through there. I wouldn't know just off the bat, and I wouldn't want to say what it would be, purely because, again, they do so many. And again, I think you're going to want to break it up a little bit, perhaps changing shades and tones for different panels. It'll make a big aircraft like that really work very, very well. Yeah. Because I take it you're not going to go for the standard metal finish on it. He's obviously going to go for something a little bit more weathered in there using greys and stuff. I'll have a look after the show and see what I can come up with. Ian says, hi boss, big welcome to Linz. Hi. I've just purchased some MRP paints and I may have missed it, but how are they for faux shading? Are they okay over Tamiya paints? I don't want to use them before I know. Thanks, from Porthleven in Cornwall. Which is something weird because you've never been to Cornwall.
I haven't been to Cornwall, no.
Which is weird when you've lived in Torquay for how long?
On and off for about 7 years.
And you've never been to Cornwall, which is like 20 minutes down the road, or half hour if you're driving normally.
I know it's very shameful. I am very sorry about that. Yeah, no, I do plan to go next year though.
Yes.
Just for a weekend. or a couple of days.
Definitely. We'll get you down there. I think you definitely need to break down lovely Cornwall. Yes, you can. Short answer. You can go straight over them. As long as the paint is totally cured, you'll have no problem at all. And you can thin them with a little bit, and you can mix them with themselves as well. They're absolutely fine with it. But you can thin them with a little bit of self-leveling thinners, and they work absolutely fantastic. Yeah, they are jack of all trades paints. Very, very nicely. You'll be finding out tomorrow.
Yes, I will.
You will. That's it. We're going to stop it there because we're running over slightly.
Oh, we are running over slightly.
Yeah, we're going to be a 2-hour show instead of a half-hour show at this rate.
Just keep going on.
That's it. I know. That's the trouble. We keep on. Keith, I will be with you. The next question with you tomorrow. We'll be back up with you. Monday's always busy because obviously everything going on and everything else like that. Right. That's it. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Airbrushing again tomorrow.
Yes.
I'll get this edited up so you can see what Linda was up to. We're having a special little thing extra tomorrow.
Yes, you can all have a bit of a laugh at me.
That's it. Anyway, I'm going to carry on with the Mozzie. Hopefully that'll be buttoned up and ready for paint tomorrow as well. So it'll be a lot of fun at the end of the week.
Yeah.
And we'll be good like that. So, till tomorrow, everybody. Happy modelling. Take care. Bye.
Bye.